Hi guys, it's Han here. Today we're going to check out a 2024 Toyota Tacoma. Thanks to Jay and Thomas for their help. By Toyota, call Jay and Thomas. Welcome to subscribe my car reviews channel both in English and Chinese. Thank you all for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing and lighting up the bell. The new Tacoma has been on the market for a while. We can now see many on the road. I have actually been waiting for my fleet loan from the manufacturer. Unfortunately, the loan hasn't arrived yet. Today we take a look at a brand new vehicle selling here. This generation of Tacoma also joins the TNGA-F platform. It is a product on the same platform as its current big brothers in Toyota family. But in terms of sales, Tacoma is the real big brother among Toyota brand trucks. Tacoma has been the best-selling mid-size pickup truck in the United States in recent years. The new Tacoma is currently planned to have two powertrains. One set is a 2.4-liter turbocharged engine, equipped with an 8-speed automatic transmission or a 6-speed manual transmission. There is also a 2.4T hybrid model, independent suspension with double wishbones at the front and integral axle at the rear. As the current sales champion of the family in this market segment and also one of Toyota's largest sales volume, Tacoma has always been classified the trim levels in relatively fine detail by Toyota. When the 24 model was first launched, it can be seen that Tacoma did not have too many trim levels. I estimate that in couples of years, Tacoma's trim levels will be more refined. The one we check out today is the 2024 Tacoma TRD Off-Road. 4-wheel drive and 5-seat version. Short cargo box. Equipped with 255/70R17 4 wheels. Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 system is standard. 8-inch central screen. 6 speakers audio. This car is basically standard equipment. MSRP including shipping is $46,124 US. Its engine comes from the US plant, the transmission from the Japanese plant, and the final assembly comes off the Mexican plant. Take the truck we are checking out today as an example. Both it is in terms of appearance parameters and the feeling when I stand next to it. This generation appears to be larger than the previous one. In particular, the height appears to be higher than that of the previous generation model. The approach angle is 32.5 degrees and the departure angle is 22.2 degrees. Minimum ground clearance is 11 inches. The curb weight is shown in the figure. Overall, it can be seen that it is heavier than the previous generation model. Maximum towing capacity for gasoline models is 6,500 pounds. The fuel tank capacity of the gasoline engine product is 18.2 gallons. Please see the picture for the fuel consumption published by the EPA. I believe you guys have seen this truck on many channels. In terms of appearance, it looks more robust and tough compared to the previous generation model. Of course, this also represents Toyota's latest design direction for large model vehicles. In fact, to put it simply, this generation of Tacoma is more like a smaller version of Tundra. The shape above the engine compartment is prominent and looks more muscular. The shadow of Tundra can be vaguely seen in the shape of the lamp unit. Due to the configuration, the light source structure setting is not too complicated. The lower part looks like a vent, but it's not, which is consistent with the Tundra. There are air vents on the edges of the front wheel arches. The bumper at the front does not protrude significantly. It is no longer the shape of a bumper in the traditional sense. This version has fog lights on the left and right below. As you can see from the front, in order to highlight the tougher image of this truck, all the decorative materials in the front are made of this black material without any shiny feeling. From the side, the overall shape looks like a scaled-down version of Tundra. Just in the processing of some lines, it looks cuter than Tundra. For example, the A-pillar is not designed to be as upright and straight as the Tundra, and its inclination is still relatively large. The Tacoma cab is available in 2-seat and 5-seat versions. Today we are looking at the 5-seat version. In terms of cargo box size, there are currently 2 lengths, long cargo box and short cargo box. This truck has a short cargo box. In order to highlight the hardcore image of this truck, you can also see from the side that it is decorated in black without any shiny chrome. Plastic door handles. Only the 2 front door handles have touch unlocking and locking functions, while the rear 2 door handles do not. After opening the door, you can see that the door opens at a decent angle. The front door is much wider than the rear door. All 4 windows use single-layer glass. The lower edge of the door does not cover the lower edge of the body. Based on my height, I have to use pedals to get in and out of this truck. Without the help of a pedal device, the posture is very ungraceful. The current Tacoma has 17-inch and 18-inch wheels. This truck uses 4 17-inch wheels. The wheel shape also looks very tough. TRD's logo in the middle. The brake discs of all Tacoma series are somewhat different. The front disc on low end of gasoline models uses a ventilated disc with a diameter of 12.6 inches. The front disc of high-end and hybrid models uses a ventilated disc with a diameter of 13.4 inches. As for the rear brake disc, all gasoline model versions are the same, and they are all ventilated discs with a diameter of 12.2 inches. But the rear brake disc of the hybrid model uses a ventilated disc with a diameter of 13.2 inches. The rear styling of pickup trucks is actually pretty much the same. The rear design of this Tacoma also looks like a smaller version of Tundra. Including the shape of the light unit and the feel of the rear tail panel, it is basically made wider, and it is the Tundra. Make the rear of Tundra narrower and it becomes Tacoma. There is no elbow button on this version. On the section above the cargo panel, there are also many forehead protection patterns and Tacoma's logo. Make a few ribs on this piece to make it easier to grasp. The switch on the trunk is here and the reversing camera. There is no shiny color at the back either. Even the 4x4 logo is black. There is also a black exhaust under it. The side outlet is placed in this position. The drop of the rear tailgate has a certain sense of damping. There is nothing functional on the rear tailgate. Tacoma's cargo box also comes in several sizes. There are long cargo boxes and short cargo boxes. Moreover, the trunk sizes of 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive are also somewhat different. Then let's take the size of this truck as the example. It is a 4-wheel drive version with a short cargo box. The length of the inner diameter of the cargo box is 60.3 inches. The interior depth of the cargo box is 21.2 inches. The interior width of the cargo box is 53 inches. Between the two wheel arches is 44.7 inches. There are no tricks to the rear windshield of this truck. The interior design of the new Tacoma's center console is similar to its exterior style. Square shape, straight angled lines. At the same time, you can also see that there are many latest common parts and designs of the family inside. Although the central screen is also very abrupt when it stands up, it does not feel as abrupt as other products in the family, which still has a certain sense of design. Perhaps in order to highlight the tough guy image of this truck, the handles, storage compartments, and hooks are very tough and rough, which can be seen in many places inside. This time Toyota uses plastic parts extensively in its cars, and it can finally be justified and upright. All 4 windows are equipped with one-touch up-down function. It doesn't have a head-up display. The buttons on the left are not too full. The dashboard of this truck is also the latest version of the family. An LCD screen has 3 display modes, and the numbers in each display mode have different styles. An LCD screen is more playable than a mechanical instrument. The dashboard also has 3 sets of memories. 3 sets display contents can be stored in advance and switched during driving. The dashboard display is relatively clear. The steering wheel is also a common part of Toyota Group's large vehicles, which we've seen on many models before. The steering wheel size is relatively large. The half circles at 3 and 9 o'clock are made of perforated leather. But generally speaking, its leather belongs to Toyota's relatively rough leather in mid to low-end models, and the grip is not very delicate. The steering wheel is still relatively thick. The shortcut buttons on the steering wheel are also the latest version of the Toyota family. There are no paddle shifters at the back. The lights have automatic on-off and automatic high beam function. The headlights can be adjusted manually. The front wipers don't have rain sensing. Automatic anti-glare interior mirrors. The eyeglasses case is still relatively large, no wide-angle mirror. The software and hardware of the central screen are both common parts of the family. Screens of this size are currently used more often in low-end models in the Toyota family. The screen of high-end models will be larger. As a hardcore off-road vehicle, the information displayed in it is not too rich, maybe because of the price. Both iPhone CarPlay and Android Auto have wireless connectivity capabilities. It does not have a panoramic view, only a reversing view, a wide-angle reversing view, and direction line indicators. The reversing view display is relatively clear. Automatic air conditioning, but not zoned. The control mechanism has physical buttons and knobs, as well as a separate LCD screen, so good. There are 2 cell phone slots, but not wireless charging pads. There are 2 Type-C charger sockets on this side, a 12-volt charger socket underneath, TRD shift lever, which we have seen before on Tundra and Sequoia. This control near the driver's seat is the soul of the entire truck. I think the design is quite sophisticated. Below is a wheel that can adjust 4-wheel drive low, 4-wheel drive high, and 2-wheel drive high. Use the buttons above to determine the function, and then use the knob above to make adjustments. There is a trailer mode. Driving modes include Sport, Normal, and Eco mode. Depress the brake and put the gear in N position. This allows for multi-terrain selection, including deep snow mode, mud mode, sand mode, dust mode, and automatic mode. The button for the rear lock is placed here. The central armrest box is quite satisfactory. The volume inside is not too large, doesn't have any functionality inside. Now I put the seat to the lowest position. You can observe the space performance. The first feeling is that when I lowered the seat to the lowest position, it had a sinking feeling while driving. It didn't feel like your body was still being held up higher. You can see through the video that when I lowered the seat, the lower edge of the dashboard curtain appears relatively high to me. I prefer the feeling of being stuck in it while driving, but if you don't like it and want a good line of sight, you can lift the seat. Adjust it a little higher so that your body can be held higher. The second more intuitive feeling is that when you sit inside and look forward, the convex shapes on both sides of the hood look very exaggerated, which can give you a good coordinate. This is also an iconic symbol on the current Toyota family's new hardcore off-road vehicle. And we can feel that the image the designer wants to give to this Tacoma is also a more fierce, hardcore, and rugged image. You see, these big knobs are very well made. It is fierce and has a layer of rubber on the outside. The entire vehicle uses plastic parts unscrupulously this time. Although the steering wheel is not small in size, the steering wheel is much lighter than the previous generation model at low speeds. Of course, this is also a feature of Toyota's mid and large vehicles after entering the TNGA platform. The steering wheel is relatively light at low speeds. For a hardcore pickup truck, the front seats are quite comfortable. You can see that the seat cushions are high and long enough to support the legs and the back. There are quite a few bulges on the wings, a relatively wrapped feeling. The driver's and passenger's seat adjustments are all manually adjusted. The driver has power lumbar adjustment, but the passenger's seat does not. In terms of materials, most are made of hard plastic and rubber. The top of the instrument panel is made of hard plastic, and there is a storage compartment on the passenger side, a decorative panel with the Tacoma logo below, and the bottom is made of hard plastic. The center console is all hard plastic. Everything the legs can rest on is made of hard plastic. Sitting inside and looking at the window frame, you can see the metal parts. Door panel materials. The upper part is hard plastic, and around the armrest is not leather but some soft material. The armrests have a rubber feel. It's all hard plastic underneath. It seems that the only place where the whole vehicle has some leather feel is on the steering wheel. As everyone knows, Toyota has always provided relatively complete handles on its previous more hardcore models. As a hardcore pickup truck, Tacoma doesn't have too many handles. This piece has a handle. There is none in the driver's seat nor in the front. The passenger side has a handle on the door frame, but on the A-pillar it is not a handle. It is only shaped like a handle and does not run through the middle. I feel like Toyota is a bit too stingy about this. The designer also knows that this place needs a handle, also wants everyone to grab this place. So why not make a real handle like before? The only Type-C data port in the truck is on the side of the center screen, right here. This vehicle came off the final assembly line at the Mexican plant. As the vehicle's for sale, you can see that the gap in the glove box in front of the passenger is very large. When driving, this is the source of the noise. I personally find it difficult to accept that this kind of workmanship for Toyota product. This is adjustable and relatively easy to adjust. Hopefully this won't happen again with other products. The feeling of the second row is the same as that of other non-full-size second rows of hardcore and tool trucks on the market, all of which are almost the same. First of all, the second row has a heightening effect, and the line of sight in the second row is much higher than that in the first row. Generally speaking, this seat in the second row is not hard to sit on. You can see that the seat cushion is long and high enough to provide good leg support, and the seat cushion has a slightly sunken feeling. The main reason is that the chair back is uncomfortable. The angle of the chair back cannot be adjusted, and it looks very straight and upright. It's like sitting on a bench. Of course, sitting like this is good for your waist. Space, headroom is no problem. Legroom is average. But everyone knows that it is difficult to achieve a relatively good performance in the second row of this kind of truck. The second row is not its focus. As you can see, due to the shape of the door and the influence of the wheel arch design, in order to allow all the glass to be lowered into the door, it has narrowed the glass, and the glass can be all lowered to the bottom from here. The door panel is made of a single piece of plastic, and there is no soft feeling even around the armrest. There are cup holders on the door panels, also 2 cup holders in the middle. There is only one 12-volt charger socket in the entire rear row, some bulge in the central floor. The lighting is placed in this position. There is a handle on the left and right sides of the rear row. What's the problem with putting this handle on the front passenger seat? The second row seats can be lifted up and folded 40–60%. After lifting it up, the bottom becomes a storage compartment as a whole, and a storage compartment is designed below. The second row seats have no damping after being lifted up, and it is difficult for them to stand on their own. There is a rope with a hidden buckle on it that can be buckled on the back of the chair so that the seat will not move. The seat backs can also be folded down in 40 or 60, a storage compartment in the back where vehicle tools are placed. To summarize, that's a quick video of the new Tacoma TRD off-road. Because it's a brand new for sale, we can't fully experience it. Overall, in terms of appearance, the design is more majestic than before. It's on track with the current family. The interior design has its own certain hardcore characteristics. The materials used are not hidden. Plastic materials are used in a large area. In dynamic experience, because I didn't drive it out, I just drove it briefly in the courtyard. The suspension feels similar to that of a pickup truck. In terms of power, I feel that it is a bit reluctant to use this 2.4-liter turbo engine in this so-called hardcore medium-sized pickup truck. It may be stronger on the highway, but high-speed driving is not its main scenario. When the low speed, the turbo doesn't begin to work, especially low-speed creep, I still feel quite uncomfortable. Without the help of a turbine, the 2.4-liter self-priming part is really a bit anxious to drive this big vehicle with low torque. The steering force of the steering wheel is relatively comfortable, and the pedal feel is also relatively comfortable, which is the common feeling of the mid to large vehicles in Toyota after the TNGA platform. This is still a certain improvement compared to the previous generation Tacoma. We'll talk more about the driving experience when we get the fleet loan. Thank you all for the video.